Somebody grab the frickin' drill because this wedding drama is unhinged. Honestly, I'm surprised that I know that you use the drill on hinges. Not the brightest tool in the shed, if you know what I mean. First story, am I the a-hole for ordering pizza at my friend's wedding because there was no food? Off the bat, I'm like, nah. Hell, I'll split it with you. My wife and I were invited to a friend's wedding. The wedding was going to have about 70 people, with mostly family. When we got there, we were seated at a table with some other people. Nice people, and we mingled well, and we had a good time chatting. The wedding was also quite nice too. Both my friend and his new wife were very happy. After the ceremony, every table got 2 bottles of wine, bread and butter, and there was also an open bar, so we started to have a few drinks. Then the food came out. It looked really good, and the food was set up like a buffet. I was half buzzed and looking forward to getting some food in my belly. When it was time to eat, every few tables at a time were going to get called up, which is fine. The first few tables that were called were understandably the family of both sides. Then the rest of the tables were. The problem was that the family members, his in-laws, are larger people. Now, I don't shame people for how much they eat, but I noticed the helpings of food that they had while I was patiently waiting for us to be called. I also noticed that they went for seconds before all the tables were called and no one stopped them. I didn't say anything though, because I thought that would be rude. I just assumed that there would be a lot of food. To my surprise, by the time we were called, there was nothing left. I asked if there was more coming, and apparently that already occurred. So we grabbed the little that we could and we went back to sit down and we ate the scraps. We were all still pretty hungry and a bit pissed off, so we kind of talked the first few tables and said that they ate all the food. Someone mentioned that they could order some pizza, and then I had the drunken idea of ordering some. So that is what we did. We all pitched in and we ordered 4 large pizzas and some chicken wings from a local pizza joint close to the venue, so it didn't take long to be delivered. I met the guy outside and I brought the food to our table and we started to eat. Some of the other tables noticed and asked where the pizza came from. Apparently some of the other tables close to ours didn't get food either, so we shared with them. I love that you guys are all having like your own little pizza party.
Pizza party. Pizza party.
This caused some commotion because other people were looking for it and asking the wedding party if there was still pizza available. I guess there were others that didn't get to eat either. We did share with anyone who asked us. My friend came to talk to me about why I ordered the food. His bride was not happy about it. She said it ruined the aesthetics. So I told him that we didn't get to eat and that the food ran out long before our table was called and we were really hungry. He then asked why we didn't just step out and eat and then come back. Though annoyed about that, I respectively explained to him that we were all drinking on an empty stomach and that it probably wasn't the best to have drunk people walking around looking for food. I don't think he liked that, but he went back to his bride, who was just glaring at us. Like, what were we supposed to do? Starve? This wasn't the end though. As we were finishing eating, one of the in-laws came to our table and he asked where the pizza came from. This is where I may be the a-hole. There were 2 slices left. I knew he was eyeing them. I asked the other people at my table if they wanted one. Everyone declined. The guy then said that he would have one. I then took the 2 slices and I put them on my plate and I started to eat them. Then looked at him and said something like, "No, you and everyone at your tables had way more than your fair share of the buffet and you ate all of it. This is the reason we ordered food in the first place. And now you have the nerve to ask us to share?" His face went red and he returned to his table. There was a lot of discussion going on there. They were all looking back at us with daggers. The bride looked even more ticked off at us. She had a bit of an argument with my friend. He eventually came back to tell us that we had to leave. I didn't mean to start any problems, so me and my wife called a cab and we left. left. He called me a few days later and we had a long talk. I explained my perspective and he agreed that his in-laws were really rude for eating all the food and leaving most of the other guests with very little. A lot of people actually complained to him about it. Everyone was drinking, thinking that there would be food, and they were disappointed. He was upset with his in-laws because he told them how many guests there would be and to order the food for that many people. He also saw how much they were taking, but assumed that they ordered enough, but he was wrong. He brought this up with his wife, and she said that apparently, because the in-laws paid for the alcohol and food, they felt entitled to eat what they wanted. She was really mad at them and reamed them out for tainting her special day. He also said a lot of the other non-family guests started to leave soon after we left because they were too hungry. They still had fun celebrating, but it did kind of put a downer on their special day. Out of 70 people, about 30 people left. I also found out that the guy that came to our table was his father-in-law. Father-in-law was really embarrassed by what I had said to him. He felt pretty bad when he found out close to half the guests didn't get to eat anything and left early. So, am I the a-hole? I have always wondered that because I have gone to weddings where there wasn't that much food available for all the guests because it was kind of like this buffet style, and by the time you get up there, slim pickings.
Nothing.
Not to a point where I have ever been starving or felt that it wasn't enough. Like I think I just kind of dealt with it. I also wasn't drinking at that wedding though. Keep in mind, I know that plays a big part, and I agree, where there's alcohol, there should be food. But if people genuinely haven't had anything to eat, what do they do? Do they just leave? Because I feel like that would also be rude. If you left to be like, sorry guys, I got no dinner, so I gotta leave because I need to eat something. Most weddings have like a nighttime food option, but not always. Anyways, he added an edit. My goodness, I didn't think I was going to get this kind of response. So I went through a good chunk of the messages and thought it would be easier to address the common questions here. Number one, the only reason I ordered the pizzas was because I was drinking. All I ate that day was a sandwich for lunch and some bread that was at the table, so I needed something more substantial in my stomach so I wouldn't get sick. So no, I couldn't have waited it out a few hours. I wasn't the only person drinking either because the open bar was booming. However, I guess I could have held back on drinking a bit until the food came out. Number two, those saying that I fat shamed the father-in-law, I'm going to have to disagree. I didn't say anything to him about his body. I was only honest with him about why I had to order the food. I don't judge people based on looks, and I accept everyone for who they are as they are. You can't judge a book by its cover, so I judge people based on their actions. If you knew me, you would see that my friend group ranges from basic people to freaks and weirdos. In fact, a good friend of mine named Crusher is a big dude, absolutely hilarious and super fun to hang out with. I mean, I think that comment to him could have been avoided for sure. I feel like you could have just said, sorry man, I'm gonna eat the last two pieces. We didn't get any food, so I ordered this. That's it.
Joey doesn't share food!
You know, definitely could have been avoided. Slightly, more than slightly, unnecessary. Number three, this is not an AI generated post. My intelligence may be limited, but there is nothing artificial about it. Number four, the buffet was at my friend's request. He loves buffets, and this was his added touch to the wedding. He also chose the dishes as well. I know that is not common for weddings to do buffets, but that is what he wanted. I've seen it happen.
It could happen.
I've seen the buffet style happen. We do have an update though, so I'm curious to see why there's an update. The update came 2 days later. First, I never stated when the wedding happened. The wedding was last week on July 20th. My friend just stopped by for a little bit. Apparently his wife was more upset than he initially said, but not at me, towards her family. He also said she wanted to apologize for kicking me out. So, father-in-law feels really bad and he is going to step up and try to fix the situation. He is going to throw an after-wedding shindig, those were his words. Everyone who was at the wedding will be invited invited, including me, my wife, and some additional people. They are thinking there will be about 100 guests. Father-in-law also promised that there will be an assortment of food, more than enough for everyone, plus an army. He also wanted to personally let me know that there will be 50 large pizzas from the same joint I ordered from. That is his way of adding some humor to the situation. I think it's pretty funny. He's also going to hire a DJ or a live band, possibly have some fireworks and arrange other events like axe throwing and a bonfire. This actually sounds like it's going to be a really fun time. The only difference is that this will be a bring your own booze event, which is no big deal. Father-in-law is pulling in a favor from a friend of his who owns a farm. The farm has 2 guest houses, and the main house as well has plenty of space outside. About 50 people can be squeezed in between these 3 houses, so he is going to encourage people to bring their RVs, I have one, campers, and tents if they can. Nothing is official yet, but they are looking to hold this shindig around mid-August. Honestly, sounds like it's gonna be a blast. Sounds like a lot though. We're almost doing like another wedding. Hey man, if you want to pay for it. We're gonna find out if that went well though, because we have the final update and it came 6 months later. After the wedding fiasco, we got the invites from my friend's father-in-law to the after-wedding shindig. It took a while, so I honestly thought it was a joke at first, but my friend, the groom, who dropped them off, said it's happening. It just took a while to organize it. The invites mentioned food, drinks, activities, and lots of pizza. I wasn't sure what to expect, but my wife and I decided to go. It was in mid-September, and the weather was absolutely perfect with clear skies, warm sun, and a bit breezy. When we arrived, we saw the setup and we were blown away. The event was on this massive farm owned by a friend of the father-in-law. There were RVs, campers, tents scattered everywhere. It looked like some kind of mini music festival. The main house and 2 guest houses were open for people who didn't want to camp, and the yard was filled with picnic tables, lawn games, and a huge bonfire pit. Honestly, that is all I would need for a wedding. That sounds like so much fun. I love camping. I don't know. That sounds like a good old time right there. I wish I was invited. As soon as we parked, the father-in-law greeted us. He was wearing this ridiculously loud Hawaiian shirt and sunglasses, grinning like he had won the lottery. He shook my hand and said, "I'm glad you're here. There's plenty of food this time." I couldn't help but laugh. The food setup was insane. There were long tables covered with barbecue, all kinds of sides, desserts, and front and center, a pyramid of pizza boxes. I'm not kidding, it had to be at least 50 large pizzas from the same place I ordered at the wedding. Each box had a sticker that said "Shindig Special" on it. Everyone was already joking about it. People started showing up, and a lot of people brought their own coolers full of beer since it was bring your own booze, and others even joined in on the pizza theme. Someone even wore a pizza print dress. Another guy had a pizza-shaped hat, and there were pizza cookies on one of the dessert tables. It was hilarious. Where do you find a pizza dress? I want to pickle one. The vibe was lighthearted and fun, and honestly, it was a way better atmosphere than it was at the wedding. There was so much going on: axe throwing, cornhole, live music, and even some fireworks set up for later. The father-in-law was wandering around, handing out slices of pizza like it was his personal mission to make sure no one went hungry. My friend, the groom, found me and pulled me aside. He had a beer in one hand and slapped me on the back with another. He thanked me and told me if I hadn't ordered that pizza, we probably wouldn't be here right now. As the day went on, everyone seemed to be having a blast. The bride even gave a little speech. She thanked everyone for coming, then pointed at me and said, "And a special thanks to the guy who turned a wedding mishap into a shindig we'll never forget." People laughed and clapped. I did feel a little bit embarrassed, but also kind of proud. The night ended with lots of fireworks and everyone gathering around the bonfire, roasting marshmallows and sausages. People were drinking singing, and telling stories. It was a proper celebration, and I couldn't help but think this is how the wedding should have been. Father-in-law came up to me near the end of the night with a slice of pizza on a plate. He said he wasn't sure how to make up for the mess that he made at the wedding, but thought that this did the trick. I shook his hand and I smiled and I said that this party was a hit. All in all, the shindig turned out to be one of the most memorable events I've ever been to. Everyone left full and happy and with plenty of stories to tell. It's funny how a simple thing like ordering pizza at the wedding turned into something like this, but hey, I guess that's just how life goes sometimes. I gotta be honest, I was not expecting a happy ending with this. Not this kind of happy ending. You pretty much got a wedding redo, but so much more fun it seems. And no one's mad. Everyone's okay. Everyone shook it off. And lots of pizza. I really want pizza now. That could be arranged. We should have a pizza party. The problem is that I have to do all the reading, so I can't be eating and reading and talking. That would be so rude, no manners, and that would also sound disgusting in the microphone. So we will not be doing that. Next story. Am I in the wrong because I said no to giving away my now ex-partner at a future wedding with her new fiance? Oh, okay. I immediately think of my own exes, and that's why I had a disgusted look on my face, because I'm like, wait, why would I do that? Let's see what their situation was. Basically, me and my ex split up 3 years ago when we had been together for 7 years, when she came out to me as a lesbian. At first, we were very rocky when we separated, but as we shared custody of our dog together, we had to stay civil, and over time, we became not just friends again, but in my opinion, best friends again. Especially when our dog passed away in the summer, we got very close again. Okay, so already a very different situation than mine. It's important to point out that we were never married. As we had both been married, we said that we were in no rush. She said she was adamantly opposed to remarriage, whereas I said I wasn't bothered by it, but I would never rule it out. She met a new woman last year after 2 years of what she calls her, sleut phase of newly coming out. I've met her, she seems okay, and we get on, but we're not close, just civil. They've moved on quickly though. They moved in together after only 7 months, and they're coming up to only a year together this month. I haven't found anyone yet. I've had flings and a few one-night stands, but I'm quite shy and having anxiety issues despite being told that I'm a good-looking guy. The other day, she asked me if we could have coffee, which I agreed to, and proceeded to show me a diamond ring and said her girlfriend, now fiance, proposed to her, and she said yes, which took me by surprise considering how opposed she was while we were together. While I was still taking it in, she said that as her and her dad are estranged, he's religious and he and her family disowned her when she came out. She thinks I'm the best man she knows and I should give her away when they get married. Without thinking, I said, "You must be kidding. No way." I don't remember the exact words after that, but it was a very awkward situation. We paid up and we left without really talking. She looked like she was crushed though and couldn't get her words out. After getting home, I got a very angry phone call from her fiance telling me what a piece of shite I am for crushing her dreams and putting a damper on her big day. She said something along the lines of, "Don't think you're coming to the wedding," and I equally responded along the lines of, "Don't worry, love, I wouldn't go anyway." A few mutual friends and family of mine that she still sees have rang me or messaged me saying that they think I'm out of line and they're going to show their support. I've been ignoring them like it's their business anyway. I personally feel crushed all over again, like when she came out to me. I feel like I wasn't good enough for her to marry, but good enough to make her big day special. I don't see me and her regaining our friendship like we had. I think even if we did patch things up, we'll always have this on top of us. Am I wrong for doing it? Should I have just bit the bullet and gave her away? Interesting. It's hard to judge because I don't know the relationship, the situation, how comfortable I am with the fact that we're exes and you're getting married and we're friends. And I don't know, I don't think it's wrong of you to say you're not comfortable giving her away. You are exes and you were together for 7 years and you loved her. I don't know. All right. He did add an edit though. He said, "I think what's annoying me a lot is that I consider what she did a big no. Inviting an ex to a wedding is something I wouldn't do and consider it a bit insensitive on her part. Why does she, her fiance, and others think it's okay and she gets a pass on the basis that she's a woman and marrying a girl? Uncles and aunts of mine who divorced, stayed cool with exes, and later remarried, never dreamed of asking exes to be a part of it or even go to their future weddings. Why should my situation be any different? I want to know your guys' thoughts on this, so chime in. But we do have a final update, and it came 3 days later. I'm curious to see if he changes his mind. I've had lots of great advice, but one was to write a letter to convey my feelings. I was in the process of doing so when I got a text from her yesterday asking if she could come to my house in the evening so we could chat about what went down and clear the air. I agreed and she came over, and the first thing she did was apologize for her fiance's behavior and that people have been harassing me. She admitted that she was so upset when she got home that afternoon that her partner freaked out and had to go at me without thinking, and that the others found out because she has a WhatsApp group that she had set up to talk about her proposal, and she mentioned it in there that she was going to ask me. So people had been messaging her on there and asking how she got on. She assures me that she's going to ask people on there to leave me alone now. She let me go first, and I said basically that I was so taken aback because of her stance on marriage when we were together, and the fact that I wanted to marry her so much, and when she asked me, I guess all the feelings I had when she first came out and we separated came flooding back. She said she could see where I'm coming from and said in hindsight, she didn't really stop and consider my feelings because she was so caught up in her happy little world. She then said that the reason why she wants me to not only be there is that she loves me so much, and even though she's not into me sexually and romantically, she still considers me her soulmate in a way that she feels I get her more than anyone else in the world, including her fiance. This took me by surprise to actually hear, and I broke down and I started crying, and so did she. After we cleared our heads, she told me that I can still come to the wedding if I wanted to, and that there's no pressure to be involved as such. I said to her I don't think I can, as the love I have for her is not strictly platonic on my part, and to give her away in that way she wants feels like a kick in the balls, and I just don't think I can. She seemed to get angry at this. Thinking about it in hindsight, I think she was just being direct, and told me that I need to accept we're over and stressed to me that she's not into me in that way. I think we get that. I said I don't think I can, and that we may be best to just properly cut ties, at least for a time, as it is eating me up. She said if that's what I want, she understands, and started to really cry. We hugged and we parted there. Before she left, she told me that she could tell I'm drinking again, and said if all else fails and this is it, to please try and at least get sober again. To say my head is a mess is an understatement. Luckily, I haven't heard from her since she left, and I have deactivated all my social media, so I can't see what she's up to. What a story. I mean, any ex for sure, but it's almost like I forgot that he is still attracted to her sexually and romantically, and he wanted to marry her. So that would be hard to go through if someone just comes out to you and you're just like, oh, I wanted all those life things with you in that future, but you now want it with someone else. Yeah, that'd be so strange. We got more stories, but I need a sip of water. So do you. Cheers. Hope you're having a good day out there. You guys, the FIFA World Cup started today. Like the first game started, and the city is wild. There, you can just hear it everywhere. Music, the game playing, people screaming, and I'm downtown, so it's especially very loud and very busy. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend my sister's wedding after she gave my seat away to her dog? Your sister? What? Hell, the dog can sit on my lap. Why does it have to be one or another? I, 24 female, have always been close to my older sister, 29 female. She's getting married next month, and for the last year, she's been planning what she calls her dream wedding. A few weeks ago, she sent out the final seating chart. I noticed my name wasn't on it. At first, I thought it was a mistake, so I called her. She laughed and told me that she had to make a small adjustment. Apparently, her golden retriever, Max, is going to be sitting at the family table during the reception. Since there wasn't enough room, she removed my seat and moved me to a table in the back with some of her coworkers that I have never met. I thought thought she was joking. She wasn't. I told her it was pretty insulting to prioritize a dog over her own sister. She said Max is basically family and that I was being dramatic because I would still be at the wedding. Things got worse when she posted a photo of Max's custom tuxedo on social media with the caption, "Can't wait for my favorite family member to sit with us on the big day." A bunch of people tagged me and started asking if I had been replaced. I told my sister that if she genuinely thought her dog deserved my spot at the family table, then she clearly didn't care whether I was there or not. I said I would not be attending. Now my parents are furious. They think I'm causing unnecessary drama and should just go to support her. My sister says that I'm trying to make her wedding about me. Some friends think I'm justified. Others think skipping the wedding is an overreaction. Am I the a-hole? I don't know if you should skip the wedding. You're gonna miss your sister's wedding over like sitting at a table. I get it. I totally understand. Like, it'd be way better if you're sitting with the family and not random people you don't know, but it is your sister's wedding. You don't wanna miss it. Update. To make it clear, I will not be attending the wedding, but the good news is my sister did apologize to me and she realized she was in the wrong. She offered to give me my assigned seat back, but I've decided I won't go despite the changes. Secondly, for those accusing me of using AI for my story, apparently everyone is saying this on Reddit. You're totally wrong. I live in an area. It is quite common for dog owners to be obsessed over their pets, and they tend to be a lot more caring of them than their own family. Not sure as to why, but it's just like that. Okay, but why are you not going to the wedding still? She apologized, she offered you the seat back, and you're still not going? To me, that seems a little bit petty. You're gonna miss your sister's wedding? I don't know. I'm trying to think of me and my sister, but at the same time, my sister would probably want Lila sitting there instead of me. And I don't blame her. My oldest sister considers Lila like a niece. They love each other. I would understand. Totally understand that Lila takes a seat before anybody else. Next story. My best friend's wedding is making me resent her. I feel awful even writing this because I genuinely love my best friend. She is an amazing person in so many ways, but being a bridesmaid in her wedding has completely burnt me out. It's an Indian wedding with 5 events over 1 week, plus another event in a different city the following weekend. We need different outfits for every event, and for the second weekend, we also have to drive to another city and pay for a hotel. None of this has ever really felt optional. For context, besides me and a few others, most of the bridesmaids aren't Indian, though generally know how Indian weddings work, but this is still way beyond anything we have personally experienced before. I grew up somewhat removed from the culture, so the sheer amount of events, expectations, and coordination has honestly been very overwhelming. There was also a destination bachelorette trip, which I missed because of work, plus a bridal shower. At this point, costs are getting close to $1,500 for me personally, and that's not even including the bachelorette. What's making this harder is that nobody else in our friend group has had weddings remotely like this. Every wedding we've been a part of before has basically been a one-day event and maybe cost us $500 max as bridesmaids between the wedding and bachelorette. None of us are particularly flashy or frivolous people, so this level of spending and production honestly feels really excessive. The time commitment is honestly what's getting to me the most. We have had to take off almost an entire week of work for the wedding events, plus another day for travel the following weekend. Originally, she told us that she'd be getting us 1 outfit from India and would cover our hair and makeup. She actually ended up getting us 3 outfits, which was generous and much appreciated, but then later told us she wouldn't be paying for hair and makeup anymore and that the alterations were our responsibility. Alterations alone ended up being close to $300. It's not the decision itself that was frustrating, but the fact that we weren't consulted on it, when it was directly affecting our finances. Not to mention the quality of outfits wasn't great. My outfit for the wedding day arrived with massive tea stains on the back. Now, less than 3 weeks before the wedding, she asked all the bridesmaids to write a speech together, and she also wants us to get another outfit for the bangle ceremony because she wants us to change outfits for photos after that day's first event, even though the ceremony itself lasts less than an hour. She will be changing too and wants us to change for the aesthetics and pictures to be different from earlier in the day. On top of that, less than 2 weeks before everything starts, she is suddenly escalating these wedding games involving the groom and groomsmen into a much bigger production than originally discussed. We had talked about this a month ago, but now she wants signs made for the bridesmaids to hold up, supplies bought, and us spending the weekend before the wedding helping make decorations that will literally be used for a few minutes and then thrown out. The thing is, we are doing everything. None of us are refusing. We all love her and we want her to be happy, but I honestly feel like there's been very little consideration for how financially, emotionally, and physically draining all of this has been for the bridal party. She keeps thanking us, which I know is genuine, but appreciation only goes so far when the expectation keeps growing and changing at the last minute. At a certain point, it stops feeling like a meaningful celebration and starts feeling like a checklist of things that she's seen online that she wants recreated for aesthetic photos. I already know I'm going to need a long break socially after this wedding is over. We will keep doing our best to manage what's being asked of us and maybe try to find some middle ground these last few weeks. We are also supporting each other the best we can. That's wild. I do know, I've never been to one, but I do know I've seen and I've heard stories and on social media that Indian weddings are a very big production. Spectacular. Yeah, honestly, I've seen some that look like a movie set. They are that spectacular. By all means, if you want to pay for that, but I do think to ask friends of all of this is a lot. It's so much. Y'all, wedding culture is out of control these days. The price tag is getting crazy, okay? Let me know your thoughts, you guys. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. I'll see you tomorrow.